Hey everybody, it's me, Martinez-Bateman. I am the CEO of New Coyote Consulting. We are a communications and equity consulting firm here in the Pacific Northwest. What that means is that we talk to people about how to talk to people about equity. We work specifically the best with BIPOC leaders about to come into their power or who have recently come into their power. So that means like starting a business, starting a project, getting a promotion, etc., etc. Life transitions. Every Monday I come on here and I tell you what my intention is for the week. Every Thursday I come back and I tell you how I did. Because it is Monday today, I'm going to talk about my intentions for the week. I am also going to say that this last weekend, so yesterday, the day before, and the day before that, and the weekend before that, I finally had like enough socializing during the weekend that I feel rejuvenated. I feel filled back up. I feel really good. The weather was good enough that a bunch of my friends could like meet up at an outdoor food cart pod and like eat together and hang out, and it was just glorious, amazing, beautiful. Like, I supplement a lot of my needs for socialization with like Zoom stuff, and I'm really grateful for Zoom. And also, it is not the same as in person. It is just not the same. And being able to do like one social thing a weekend is, for me, the bare minimum before I start to just like shut down mentally. So having like multiple social things over multiple weekends has just given me a lot of like, I feel recharged. I feel filled back up. Also, I keep saying this because I really need it to be true. I've needed it to be true for the last 2 fucking months. But I can see evidence of spring coming to us. So, for those of you who are not in Portland, January in Portland is like the worst month anyone's ever had anywhere. And for a while I lived in Bend, Oregon, although it was a very short while. It wasn't even a full year, but I used to spend my summers and my winters there. And when it snows, so I lived in Bend back when it snowed in Bend. Thanks, climate change. But when it snows and you're like snowed in or something, and maybe this is my perception from being a kid there, but that's a weather. That's a thing. You can be like, oh, snow. It's a obstacle. It's a thing to manage. But there is just nothing you can do about ice rain, people. There's nothing you can do about it. And Portland in January is just ice rain and then gray skies and then ice rain. And it feels like, to me, a person who really loves being able to go and do things, and especially with the added layer of COVID, so not being able to go and be indoors with people, January in Portland feels like being buried alive. Like, I cannot stress how depressing it is. I don't like it. The rest of the year is so good in general that I put up with it. But it's very bad. January is the worst month of the year in Portland. I hate it. February is like only a little bit better, but it's that like just that tiny step up from January to February is so significant to me, someone who hates January so much, that I like start to be like, oh, okay, I feel so much better. And then March happens and I'm like, whoa, I forgot how much less this place can suck. I love Portland. I'm glad I moved here. I'm glad I moved to the Pacific Northwest. Overall, the climate really works for me in a lot of ways. But ice rain is no one's friend and no one loves it. It's the worst. You get those people who are like outliers who love a super hot day. There's people who love a snowstorm. No one loves ice rain. Everyone hates ice rain. I'm sorry. Have to be the bearer of bad news, ice rain. You are not a fan. No fans. Anyway. So March actually being March in Portland and like seeing flowers blooming for real and seeing all the little green buds everywhere, like it feels like I've been holding my breath for 2 whole months and I'm finally able to like breathe again and live again, and someone let me out of my dark little box that they locked me in at the bottom of some ocean somewhere. Like, I'm back, baby. And then spring is just so euphoric here with the flowers and everything that like it's quickly, you know, I'm quickly forgetting how much the winter sucked. That's not my intention. That's just what's going on with me. My intention for this week is to go back to work. You know, we had, as you know, if you're a regular viewer, we had a terrible first quarter of this year. And things have been slowly ticking back up to normal. And after a bunch of like limiting all my prospecting, trying not to like burn myself out, trying not to exhaust myself, I actually have real work to do. So now I'm like switching gears from like preserving my energy because I don't know when this is going to pay off. I don't know when I'm going to get these gigs, like blah, 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 to like all of these gigs are coming in. Things are speeding back up. I actually have to show up and sit at my desk and do my job the whole day. And also, it's a very happy thing too, because unlike the last couple of months where sitting down at my desk meant trying to get gigs and getting rejected and trying to get gigs and getting rejected, like that's still going on. That's a part of our life. That's a part of how we make money. It's a part of how we find new clients. I'm never not going to be looking for new opportunities. However, that is now a part of what we do, and I actually have a job again. I have stuff to do. I have things to show up for. So that is very beautiful and very awesome, and it's very like, I feel a little sort of like gun shy when I sit down at the desk to do work, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm actually just doing my job. I'm just working. This isn't exhausting. This isn't onerous. This isn't, you know, and I can get right back into that because of the fact that I preserved my energy when things were bad. So right now, this week, my intention for the week is to joyfully reengage in the work that pays me. I am still looking for the last sort of like little bit of cash that's going to make me feel like this month is a successful month. March is a successful month. But I can already see it. We're on the upswing. Things are great. I'm so happy about that. I feel so relieved. And unlike the past where I've continued to work fairly hard during these downswings, because I preserved my energy, I have yet to have the sort of like things are okay drop. So sometimes I'll have this situation where I'm working really, really hard to make sure things are okay, and then my energy takes a dive. Instead, now that I'm like, hey, things are okay, I don't feel exhausted. I didn't have to get sick and go to bed. Like, I feel good about this, and I can revel in the joy of our good fortune, and I feel energized to continue to close out this month with a positive number. For the first time this year. So yeah, it's not been easy. I'm not gonna lie. It was fucking difficult. And it was more difficult for me on the emotional spectrum than the actual work spectrum, which is what I'm finding lately. Since I'm started to turn away from toxic productivity and focus on real productivity and living my values, it's the emotional thing that's hard for me. So put your intentions down below. I want to see it. I will see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.